Welcome everyone, it's the 11th of June and we have another members update. I'd like to welcome along Mick and Dave and Gary with us shortly. So as you're probably all aware, we're still under COVID-19 restrictions. So this still does place a lot of impact on the club and what's actually going on. We'll have a chat to Gary a little bit later on in regards to what's happening with the bistro and everything that's happening there. But in regards to golf, we still are under quite heavy restrictions, and we know that we're under scrutiny. We know that there's actually golfers that have been here who are actually COVID officers. So we have to make sure that we do everything right to ensure that we remain open and everything still functions as well as it possibly can. We still understand that you still miss that chance to come and have a beer after golf and things like that. But believe me, if we do the right thing, that will be back closer sooner than what you think. So I suppose the big thing we wanted to address today was that the demand for golf at the moment, and we do understand that there's a lot of people in regards to probably mainly on Saturday, they're missing out on a game of golf. But the biggest issue that we have at the moment is the reduction of hours of play. So we are getting very, very close to winter solstice, which is only 2 weeks away, 22nd of June. So our hours are reducing that people can actually get on the course, and subsequently we are getting people that are missing out. We've had a match meeting this morning, and we've come up with a couple of different ideas to try and allow us to get more people on the course and more people to actually be able to play. We did a little bit of an exercise a couple of weeks ago in regards to why we have so many people playing at the moment, and it was quite interesting to see a lot of the names that popped up. Because there's no other sport that's occurring, so things like winter sports, football, soccer and things like that, and also parents who are out constantly chasing the kids around all weekend, taking them to sport. Because there's no other sport, those people are actually back playing golf. So I come across a group last Saturday while we were playing of 4 guys, and we don't normally see those 4 guys during winter because they're all football players and they're here playing golf. So we're hoping that a couple of the new things that we've come up with this morning in the match meeting that will help us get a few more people back on the course, and as we get past winter solstice, we'll then start to be able to increase the timesheet back out again in time and work from there. So Mick, I'll chuck it over to you.
Yep, thanks Mark. Look, a lot of emails come in from people suggesting could we have a 2T start. Yes, you can fit more players on, but it all comes back to the COVID-19 situation. So if you can imagine, if you have double the amount of people turning up, then double the amount of people finishing, social distancing is going to be very difficult with that. So in mind, we're going to stick with the 1T start. So we've had a bit of a chat this morning, and we've come up with an idea about having a weekend comp versus a Saturday comp and a Sunday comp. So we'd like to combine the two into a weekend comp, so that if you don't get a game on the Saturday, you can enter to play on the Sunday. So then what would happen with that is that you both got a chance to play in the competition. How it's implemented exactly, I'll pass on to Dave in regards to how you win and all that sort of stuff, and monthly medals. But it's just a way for us to go, okay, we've still got 13 or 14 on the waiting list.
Yeah, I think it was 15.
15 still on the waiting list. So if you can get 4 of your mates, or you get 4 people together, if you can't get in on the Saturday, to know that you can still play the Sunday in the same competition under the same rules and everything, we think it might be a good result going forward and give people opportunity. I think I'm going to take up on that offer. And you got it's open to 6-day members as well.
Only on the Sunday.
Only on the Sunday. So and they can play in that same competition. So we're going to give it a go over the next 4 months, 4 weeks I should say, while we're in this lockdown situation. I might just pass on to Dave how it works with tee bookings and timesheets and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, as Mick touched on, the demand for golf, and Wayne said it as well, is higher than we've ever seen at this time of the year before. Obviously, I've been here at the new club for 10 years, and we've broken records every week in, week out. And obviously the feedback that we're getting is that the club's not really doing anything for the members. Well, I can certainly say that we're constantly talking, constantly trying to create things for the members, because they are the backbone of our club. So creating ideas like out at RACB, where we managed to negotiate with RAC a free round except for comp fee, and then obviously going to a weekend competition rather than just a locked Saturday competition. We're trying to expose more opportunities to the members. So how it will go is we'll go back to an 8-day timesheet release effective from tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. The Saturday the 20th will get released at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, which will give you a bit longer time access to the timesheet to make sure that you can either get your booking for the Saturday, or if not, then give you opportunities for the Sunday. We are going to restrict green fee golfers to only a 3-day, or continue green fee access to only 3 days in advance, so that gives members 5 extra days to make sure that they can get the best spot that suits them. In terms of the competition, the Saturday comp, it will be exactly the same as any other Saturday comp. However, results won't be done until after the Sunday field has been completed. Those results will be collated together, and then we'll do a results section in grades as per a normal Saturday comp result sheet, but it will include the Sunday players. So at this stage, I believe the Pro Pin, which is actually run from the Pro Shop, I'm going to try and continue that for both Saturday and Sundays, and offer obviously a massive prize for A grade, B grade and women. My only fear on that is if Sundays it doesn't quite work, but we'll give it a crack at least for the first couple of weeks to make sure that every member gets a bit of an opportunity to win that Pro Pin. The only restriction will be, obviously, when we get to monthly medal in 3 weeks' time, it will only be applicable to 7-day members. So you can still play on a Sunday, you can still win it on a Sunday, but it's only applicable to 7-day members, like other board events. I think, is that about right so far?
That sounds good.
Golf? So,
you did miss one thing.
What's
you
that?
can't play Saturday and Sunday.
well, no, that's wrong, Wayne.
You
You can play Saturday and Sunday, and we would like you to play Saturday and Sunday if you can, but you can only enter the comp on the first day that you play. So if you do play Saturday and Sunday, you must enter Saturday, therefore you can't enter the comp on the Sunday.
And the other thing too, Dave, with the timesheets is that if you are in and someone has put you in and booked you in, it's your responsibility to pull yourself out if you can't play. If we've got a waiting list of 15 up to 20 people, you imagine how cranky they'd be if your name wasn't pulled out and there's a 3 going around out there. So make sure that you take your name out, ring up the Pro Shop, take your name out, and try and do it with plenty of time to give those people on the waiting list a chance to get up there with their clubs and at least have a game. Now, the policy used to be on the website years ago, but we're going to try and put it back up by the weekend about what happens with the timesheet bookings and what to do to get yourself out of it to let other people play.
And I think the other thing is we get a few members that book a standard 4 players in their group regardless of whether the 4 players can play. Just imagine if you were the one missing out at that time. So if you know that a couple of players aren't available to play that weekend, don't book them in. Experience another couple of members and you might become friends with some other people. Because imagine if you're the ones missing out. So it's about being fair and courteous to the 700 other members that have access to that timesheet. I know for a fact that I played last Saturday, and in hindsight I had a couple of members say that I should have given my spot up. Well, maybe I should have, and now I can play on a Sunday. So I can put my hand up for that, but at the same time it's great to get out and play our amazing golf course. So I think you just got to be courteous to the members and think about if you're in that position what you would do and go from there. But overall, as Mick was just saying about pulling out of the timesheet, over the last 5 weeks we've had nearly 1,000 members play on a Saturday. Yes, they're the same members majority of the time, but over 1,000 golfers play, and we've only had a handful of people that haven't done the right thing. So that's extremely good, but we just want to make sure that we reiterate what to do, and if you're unsure, call the Pro Shop. That's the best thing to do. Don't text a mate or ask a mate to do it, call the Pro Shop.
Right.
Putting chipping green.
So yes, we've had a chat today, and as I said, we've been going quite well with our restrictions there. Sorry, we've been doing quite well with the restrictions we've had in place. So we've put into place now where we're going to reopen the putting the chipping green. So that will happen as of today. So there will be some restrictions in regards to that.
Yeah, it's mainly all common sense stuff. It's COVID stuff, you know. So if you're out on the chipping green and there's 10 of you out there and you can see that it's getting too close or 1.5 metres away, it's just common sense. You have to separate yourselves from it and just go, okay, maybe I'll come over to the putting green until there's some more room opened up out there. And because the chipping green is so exposed to the general public as well, we're just leaving ourselves open to all sorts of issues. So it's just common sense, please. And obviously, if you break those rules, you know what the outcome's going to be for yourselves.
We're going to, if the rules get broken, I'm sorry, but we are going to have to close it down again. So please ensure, as I said, if you see somebody else there that's too close, just have a bit of a dig at them and just say, move along. We don't want one person to wreck up everybody. We can't afford to have the people. So a couple other little restrictions we put into place to start with is practice is only available for members. So we're not opening it up to green fee players to come and practice on the chipping and the putting green yet. Exception there is Andrew Cartledge and Dave and Ange, who have lessons and clinics out there, so they have an exemption for that. And there is, because of the 1.5, we've put a maximum of 10 people on either the putting or the chipping green. So we don't normally probably get 10 people on the chipping green. Putting green on a Saturday is completely different, but because we've got our time frame is a lot less now, people are just sort of flowing through, having a quick putt. But practice-wise, please make sure, and please, for everybody's benefit, do the right thing and make sure that you follow the rules.
And to follow on from Wayne there, I'm sure the members that have been to the club of a night time have seen Andrew Cartledge's junior clinics and how successful they've been through summer, and he's smashing it again through winter. If you see his junior clinic on the chipping green or the putting green, well, they're going to be at the maximum number, so don't try and go over there and do some practice, go to a different area. So obviously Andrew's clinics go Monday to Friday, so there might be a time where yes, you would like to come and hit a bucket of balls, but for 20 minutes you might have to go chip. We all know that putting and chipping is the most important part of the golf game, so if you do that, then once Andrew leaves the driving range, you can head over there and hit your bucket of balls. It really just comes down to common sense. And to follow on from what Wayne said, the putting green and the chipping green are restricted to members only, but the driving range is still 100% open to the public. Obviously with the restricted bays over there, isolation is a lot easier and a lot easier to maintain. So the driving range will still be completely public access, members and the public, but chipping green and putting green members only, just for your experience on the golf course.
Yeah.
One of the things we probably just need to reinforce, being this time of the year, I know if you are on Instagram or on Facebook and you actually see some of the photos that Jeff posts on Tuesday morning, he took an amazing photo with his drone. The course was completely white. So we are in that time period where the frost policy comes into place. So please be aware that if the frost policy is put into place, particularly on a Saturday, the people who, there will be a time frame that you can't play on the course because it will actually damage the course. We apologise, but those people will miss out on their golf for that day.
Yeah, I think most morning players know the frost policy, but because it's a different situation, other people might be jumping in early, you will be missing your slot until the frost disappears, so you'll just drop off the timesheet virtually.
Yeah, without doubt, and being mindful that the same thing applies to afternoon players with bad weather or heat policy. So I know that frost only applies to the morning golfers, but I think over the last 5 years, I think it's 3 times we've cancelled the morning field because of frost. I think it's 3 times that we've cancelled the afternoon field due to either weather or heat. So it does even itself out, even though you probably think that through winter it's very one-dimensional, while through summer it's generally the opposite. So.
And the last thing on Dave's side of things here is we're able now to reopen the use of carts.
Yes, so as of effective today, my cart's able to be hired by anyone, regardless of medical reasons or not. The reason behind that is while obviously COVID was happening, I was able to stop my cart lease. I was able to allocate them for medical reasons only and still not have to pay my cart lease. However, I've decided to reinstate the cart lease as of today. So therefore, if you need a cart, come and hire it, because I now have to start paying for them. So if you want one, please, we've got 14 available, but make sure you book them. But on top of that, make sure you adhere to the rules. Obviously, coming into winter, it's more important than anything. Make sure you keep the carts to pars and fairways only. We do constantly see people driving through the rough. We've seen it day in, day out, and at the moment it is predominantly members with some green fee players, but we do see it a lot. So if you can stick to those rules, it just makes the course better for yourselves.
And due to COVID-19, it still is a requirement that we only have one person per cart. and the rule from the club is it's one set of clubs per card as well.
Yeah.
So
Unless you live with the person.
unless yes, thank you, Mick. Unless you live with the person. So if you live in the same house, you are able to share a card between the two of you.
Or you might want two separate cards, so they're not relationship like.
Yeah, without that. And just to follow up from Wayne there, the reason why the club chose to single-use bags only on the carts is just to reduce any chance of person-to-person contact. So, as Wayne said in the very beginning, we have got some members that are COVID, what are they called, COVID officers? Yeah, COVID officers that are members. And obviously with such high demand on the golf course, we have such a turnover of people here that if someone sees someone doing the wrong thing, they've got a dob on us, and we don't want to have to restrict the members any more than what they already have through COVID rules. So that's why they decided to go back to single-use bags only, to follow on with single-use carts only.
Yep, and avoid getting a letter from me, please keep out of the rough. It's more important now than summer.
So Dave will sanitise it whenever a cart comes back in. They'll be sanitised every time, so they'll make sure that they're all clean and tidy. So, all right, so that's it from Dave. Perfect. We're going to do a tag in, tag out now. So thanks, Dave.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Enjoy.
Okay, welcome along, Gaz.
Thank you.
And we've got Gary in to give us a bit of an update on what's happening in regards to the clubhouse and the renos and a few other bits and pieces that are going on. So the renos, it started.
It happened. Well, not happened, but they're happening. Yeah, painting's well underway. Should be finished with a large part of the clubhouse this week and moving into the golfers' entrance next week, which will make some entrance changes. We might have a couple of days where people are entering through the gate rather than the main door, but you'll still have access to the pro shop. So we're going to confirm that today, and we'll get a note out about that. Other than that, pretty well painted, looks fantastic. Guys have done a great job. We've done a bit of cleaning up in the high spots we've never been able to get to. We've also got some new carpet coming in. That doesn't come in until 10th or 11th of June, the Friday, whatever that is. July. July. Yep. That'll mean we have a bit of a shuffle around of where the bistro is. The bistro is opening on the 22nd, Monday. We've still got obviously all the COVID issues around that, distancing, number of people in a room, which has actually been changed slightly, so it'll be slightly less than what we used to have. We're also restricted at this stage to 6 on a table, 1.5 metre between tables, and effectively no wandering between. So if you're bringing a big group, understand that. Along with the opening, we're opening when we can have up to 50 in a room, but our rooms unfortunately don't fit that, but we'll intend to use 2 or 3 of the rooms for the bistro. The other thing is we will have a new menu that commences on that day, which we'll soon have up on the website as soon as I can get it to you, and a bit of a blurb there, so check it out. It's quite different, and I think it'll be a good thing. Cool, all right, that all sounds good. So we've got, as I said, with the carpet going down, that'll give us a whole, new paint, new carpet. The next stage after that is we're looking at is the furniture and some, I suppose, significant structural changes. So the board's actually working through it at the moment. So once we've got the final, I suppose, ideas and costings and all that sort of stuff done, that'll all be prepared, and then we'll actually have an open meeting for members, because it's going to be a significant cost. We need to go to the members to actually seek approval. So that will actually take part there. And that will happen, in the near distant future. So hopefully we may sort of be out of semi-restrictions by then to actually be able to have a meeting that people can actually come and actually visually see and see what's going on. Yep. Right. Yeah, that'll be good. I guess people will ask, what about the painting of the pergola? We have got a couple of quotes, and we'll work out where we can fit that into funding, but it will happen. Get all that done as well. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. All right. I guess the other thing in terms of meetings is we've got obviously the AGM that's been deferred a couple of times now. I'll thank Michael Dunn at this stage for all the work he's done with myself in trying to sort out a lot of the stuff around the COVID restrictions we have, but in particular the rules around meetings and particularly for us AGM's board meetings. Very confusing, the instructions or restrictions or whatever's written to us at the moment. The rules generally say you can have 10, 20 people, but if you read the rules in detail, you can have 20 people in a home or a community hall, or you can have them under special circumstances. So it might be like an AA meeting or similar to that. There's nothing really that says you can hold a meeting in a clubhouse such as ours unless it's actually forming part of a meal. So you come in, you can have a meal and a drink and a meeting. And then there's restrictions around times, all sorts of things. So we are seeking some legal advice on that. Just like golf, the risks to the club if we break those rules are enormous. You know, I'm sure you guys talked about the 2T start. The issues that raises for distancing, we have exactly the same issues in the clubhouse. Ultimately, if we break those rules, it can mean the end of us. You know, we could lose our licence, which effectively loses our game, which effectively loses our club. None of us want that to happen. You know, for all of us, it's a suck it up time, really. We want to do the right thing, A, by members and visitors, but B, by the club. You know, it's 125 years, and we want to keep going for another 125. So we've got to get it right. Sure, you know, we're being careful, perhaps more careful than some, but I think you know, the ultimate game is to be here for an awful long time, to do it right and look after people. So, yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Some people disagree, don't like it, but that's the way it is.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Nothing else you've got?
No, I think that. Well, we hadn't talked about the driving range.
Yeah, driving range.
Yeah, the driving range. Thankfully, has only got a little bit to be done around the door. There's effectively some flashing to go around the door on the bottom. Now it's all done. We adjusted the lights. I don't know whether we've talked about that, but Andrew has been out there with his juniors and says now that we'd probably get another 50, 60 metres of view on it, which is fantastic, more than we thought we'd get. All the guys who've worked on the driving range are just to be applauded. You know, John and his group had a big input in the design and supply of some of that stuff. Nat Twaits and Bill, Kurtz, the electricians, have done a fantastic job. And I must admit, I've run them in to do a fair bit more in here while they've been here, so the bill will be a bit higher. But you know, it's all tied together really well, and that funding that we got is just, you know, for what we will have spent in cash in the end, it's an amazing facility.
Amazing facility we've picked up.
You know, we should be very proud of it. We should make sure we look after it like the rest of the facilities we've got.
And no doubt you'll all get to see a chance to see what, you know, with the lights on down the track. So as more things open up, you know, at the moment we're closing at 6 o'clock, so the lights don't come on till after then. So you'll get a chance to actually see what it's actually like. I've snuck out there once last week when Andrew had a clinic just to actually have a look, and yeah, it's very impressive. So we'll have some new things that will come into place once COVID restrictions are finalised, and you'll be able to utilise the facility, you know, in a lot more extended hours.
And just like total eclipses, Wayne, I can only recommend you don't wander out the front and look up at the lights.
Yes, that
right.
Did do that. That was a super idea. So, and the light that we've got that's just before the bridge is fantastic. I think I mentioned to the guys the other day, you can just about land an aircraft with it. So that really illuminates the whole area. So it makes it quite safe to get over and across the bridge.
Yeah, it's a great facility. And when we've got the bistro open, we'll look at the potential we have to service some people who want to come in after hours. Like at the moment, we're probably a bit restricted again with all the COVID stuff, but ultimately that's what we'd like to do until we get a ball dispensing facility out there.
Yep.
So we'll be able, hopefully, to extend the use of that beyond the 6 o'clock or Andrew and his group.
Right.
So
so looking good, looking up. So all right.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, that's great.
It'll be good to have the place back and pumping a bit. I guess one thing we should talk about, which we haven't talked about. Obviously, members are keen to get in here and have a beer after the game. Bistro opening is not going to allow for that. We still have restrictions around what you can serve in terms of alcohol and what you serve it with. So it's not a case of guys just coming in and having a beer and a packet of chips after. At this stage, for us, it's still you need to have a meal to have a beer. So we're still a little way from the normal
Back to
guess,
norm. Yep.
back to norm in
Yep.
terms of the social get-together after golf, and I'm sure when that happens, then there'll be a review of the tee starts and all that sort of stuff. But at the moment, it is as it is, and enjoy the golf and the freedoms we have.
Exactly.
Hopefully, they'll just keep getting better, and we won't see it backward if we keep doing the right thing.
Yeah. So that probably closes up today. So the only thing I'm going to say at the end is just reinforce, please make sure you abide by the COVID-19 restrictions. We know there's other clubs out there that aren't doing the right thing. We want to make sure that we're doing the right thing, so we're open. You guys get to use the facilities all the time, and the only way we can do that is by basically everyone following the rules. So please follow the rules. If you see somebody else who's doing the wrong thing, please don't be backwards in coming forward. Have a dig at them, let them know, because it only takes one person to mess it up for everybody else, and we'll be closed down from there.
Yeah.
So
look, the rules aren't perfect. They don't suit everybody. Not everybody's happy with them, and everybody's got an opinion on what we can do better.
Yep.
We're doing the best we can in the way we think is best for everybody. So all I can ask is respect the decisions, go along with them, and we'll continue.
and we'll relax them. We'll relax more and more rules as soon as we get the ability to. So, thanks, guys.
Good on you, mate. Good to see you.
Cheers, and thanks. We'll see you all next time.
Enjoy.